Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we're going to be in the Old Testament. I'm going to read out of the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verses 20 through 25. This is the first of the 10 plagues. Over the next few days we'll go over a few more of the 10 plagues. Starting with the English Standard Version. Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded. In the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, he lifted up the staff and struck the water in the Nile, and all of the water in the Nile turned into blood, and the fish in the Nile died. And the Nile stank so that the Egyptians could not drink the water from it. There was blood throughout all of the land of Egypt, but the magicians of Egypt did the same thing by their secret arts. So Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, and he would not listen to them as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and he did not take even this to heart. And all of the Egyptians dug along the Nile for water to drink, for they could not drink the water of the Nile. 7 full days had passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. Alright. Now the New Century Version. So Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded. In front of the king and his officers, Aaron raised his walking stick and struck the water in the Nile, so all of the water in the Nile changed into blood. The fish in the Nile died, and the river began to stink, so the Egyptians could not drink water from it. Blood was everywhere in the land of Egypt. Using their tricks, the magicians of Egypt did the same thing. So the king was stubborn and refused to listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. The king turned and went into his palace and ignored what Moses and Aaron had done. The Egyptians could not drink water from the Nile, so all of them dug along the bank of the river, looking for water to drink. So, a couple of real quick things to point out here is that with this plague, it affected the entire land of Egypt. Everyone in Egypt was affected by the Nile River turning into blood. No one could find clean water to drink, at least from the Nile. They had to dig for clean water. Now, the Egyptian magicians, they were able to do the same thing. Egyptians had several different gods, almost literally a god for every aspect of life. So these 10 plagues were basically showing the Egyptians which god is superior, and obviously which gods are not even worth mentioning. So, one other thing that this did, all of the fish in the Nile died. So that took away a huge food source for the Egyptians. So there was several different ways they suffered. First, Moses and Aaron, God using them, turned water into blood. Then the Egyptian magicians did the same thing, creating more blood instead of water. So, nothing to drink, fish dying, one less thing to eat. Yeah, they had other foods they could eat, but fish was the main food source. So, God showing his power here to the Egyptians, to Pharaoh. Pharaoh hardens his heart. God knows he's going to harden his heart, yet Moses and Aaron still do what God commands. He tells him, Pharaoh will not listen. Pharaoh will harden his heart. He will turn away. They still went ahead and did what God commanded them to do. So we should also do what God commands us to do and not hesitate, not back away thinking, oh, well, this bad thing's going to happen over here, so I can't. Or these people are not going to listen to me, so I can't. No. Keep pushing forward. God will prevail. I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.